my goodness. I'm an adult already. Parents, have you ever been afraid of becoming an adult where somebody is telling you, oh my gosh, I'm scared, I'm about to graduate from high school? Were you scared? What were your emotions? Were you given the signs by your parents that it's time, you're about to be an adult, that life is about to happen? Now you're finding yourself that you're about to graduate and there's no more safety net for you. Did you prepare? Well, let me tell you, I'm Serina Mitchner of T.E.E.N.S Enrichment and Empowerment Navigation Services. I want to share my story with you. I recall being in high school and being completely confused about what I was going to do when I graduated high school. But during my time in high school, I wanted to do exactly what I wanted to do. I remember being in a program, and this is why I became the founder of this program, T.E.E.N.S Enrichment and Empowerment Navigation Services. I was in a job readiness program at Dunbar Vocational High School in the 20th century, and of course we're in the 21st century. Well, in job readiness program, it required that you major in different majors, right? And they gave us 4 different majors while I was in this program, and it was architecture, computer automated drafting, electrician, and computer programming. Now, we were selected participants to be in this program. It was completely involuntary but voluntary. We didn't really have a choice for the ones who got selected to be in this program. And it was only about 15 to 20 of us that was in this program. And those were the majors. Well, I didn't want to be in any of those majors. And I'm telling you the story behind how and why I started T.E.E.N.S Enrichment and Empowerment Navigation Services. I didn't want to be in that program because it required that you take a lot of math and a lot of science, which wasn't my strongest academic courses, okay? And I decided that one day I'll go to Miss Jackson, who was the program coordinator of the program, and let her know that I don't want to be a part of the program. So I was told by Miss Jackson, if you don't want to be in this program, go home and tell your mother and your father that you don't want to be in a part of the program, and then have them to write a note if they're going to release you. Okay? We typically listen to our children, right? Do you listen to your children? Well, my mom, I went home and I shared with her that I did not want to be in that job readiness program. I didn't want to be an electrician. I didn't want to be an architecture major. I didn't want any of those. I just want to do what I want to do. It's my life. I'm the one who's sitting in class, and so I should be able to do what I want to do. Well, being that 15-year-old girl, my mom wrote the letter, and she gave it to me, and I took it to school. And I took it to Mrs. Jackson, the late Mrs. Jackson, and I let her know that here's this fancy letter my mom's written with her signature all over it. You know how we as children can get our parents to kind of do what we want them to do when it's something that we really don't want to do and we're not really able to say. And your parents don't really investigate it either. You know what I'm saying? My mother didn't investigate it. She just listened to what I sound pretty confident about it. So I gave the letter to Mrs. Jackson, who then read over it and asked if my mom was at home. And I said, sure. So she called my mom. She says, I'm going to call her right now. Just stay put right there. So she called my mom and she talked to her, and she let my mom know that she received the letter, but she wanted to know that if I didn't major in those things, what was I going to do? Well, I wanted to major in fashion design. I wasn't very good at that either, but I definitely was trying to follow my best friend. Yeah, she was good at that craft, but I wasn't. And Mrs. Jackson had a conversation with my mom, and she just let her know that, Miss Mitchner, if Serina majors in fashion design, what kind of employment will she have? Will she be able to take care of herself? If she doesn't create her own fashion line, how is she going to survive, making minimal wages for the rest of her life? But Miss Mitchner, if Serina can type, she'll be okay. And my mom said, well, I just want her to graduate. I just want her to graduate. So Mrs. Jackson proposed this question, as I'm going to propose to you. How many graduations do parents get to attend? Well, unbeknownst to my mom at the time, Miss Jackson said it's only one. One graduation. And you know what that is? My mom didn't know. She said kindergarten. Kindergarten. Some of our children don't even make it out the 8th grade, where they are unable to even graduate high school. So they make this big thing about kindergarten graduation. So she said, Miss Mitchner, we have to start imparting in our children that college is mandatory at the age of 2, so that they know what is expected of them. Well, she asked my mom if she can handle it. And you know what my mom said? If you think you can do something with her. She says, I got this. So I end up being in a job readiness program that I didn't want to be a part of because of the majors that I had to major in. It required discipline, it required structure, the very things that young adults don't like. I was already being disciplined at home and managed there, so the last thing I wanted to do was have somebody at school make a decision on what they thought or the direction they thought I should go in. Well, what I later learned is it's okay to be a leader and a follower, because good leaders have had to follow at some point. You know what I'm saying? So I'm learning that to absorb everything you can, like a sponge, and it's okay to listen and be navigated sometimes. So as I went through this program, it was only a few of us. I believe this program had just started, maybe 1984. Am I telling my age? I am. But the only thing that changes are the players. Okay, the game is the same, it's just a different player. So as I talk about this program, you'll hear the passion that I have for empowering our young adults today. So in this program, it was only about 15 or 20 of us, and each of us did well. I'm still in connection with at least 80% of the people who were in that program. Okay, so everyone did well, majority of us. And so the thing about it is, being in that program set me up for the future. After Miss Jackson kind of made it mandatory that I continue moving forward and job readiness. My major was computer programming. So every year we were working for the summer, and I kind of fell under the leadership of Mrs. Jackson because I eventually became her assistant. So being a part of that program, I got an opportunity to learn so much. I reviewed all of the resumes of the students who were in the program. We would have to write up our resumes, but I was the proofreader. I would make the edits and modification it was whenever they were applying for positions. I would answer the phone, what we would call a secretary back then, and maybe a high-end executive assistant today. I became that student for Mrs. Jackson. And in that program, during the summer, because we got gainful employment, in the summer I worked with Leadership Council. That was housing. I was the switchboard operator there, where it was 20 lines and about 60 extensions. Ooh, that was a lot. I handled that at 15 years old. And then moving forward with that, I ended up getting my job at First National Bank, which is Chase Bank, and I was in employee relations, and I was doing what they called word processing back then, but it was all administrative typing and doing different things like that. And I realized that that program was really, really necessary, because as young adults, sometimes we're so confused about what it is we want to do, and before you know it, we're thrown out of that safety net. We're either going to fly or we're going to flop. So with that being said, when it comes down to teens enrichment and that empowerment and navigation services, being the founder of it, that's the very thing that I want to do, is impact the lives of our youth. My vision is to create future leaders that will be confident, prepared, focused, and successful in their lives for whatever their chosen career is. It doesn't matter. I'm here to make sure that they have their opportunity to make wise decisions. So in our youth program, that's what we do. We teach the strategies to completing job applications and mock interviews. We do field trips, field studies, where you have the opportunity to work with entrepreneurs in different fields, trying to find out what their majors are. We work with building character development, work ethics, managing their time, learning how to communicate effectively, basic money principles. So throughout our educational modules that we're using, we'll assist our young adults to what it takes to become successful in their own path. I'm taking questions. If anybody has any questions, you can dial in to 312-738-1060 so that I can answer telephone calls. Are there any callers at this point? Okay. So let me tell you about one of our students that we've worked with. Her name is Victoria. Victoria came into our program, and she was rather shy, but what we did was everything that I talked about. We talked about inner beauty, outer beauty, how to recognize positive peers versus negative peers, self-esteem, so many different training modules that we did. So Victoria, in addition to that, they learned how to do different things like make t-shirts. That was a different hands-on, do balloon decorations, do some marketing. We had vendor days, different things like that. Well, Victoria eventually was graduating high school at some point, and when she got ready to graduate, she couldn't figure out what it is that she wanted to do. She wanted to go away to school, but she had not done any applications or anything like that. She wanted to attend one school she did get accepted at, and that was Bradley in Illinois, Bradley University, and she wanted to attend that school. And what happened is she had not applied for any scholarships or anything like that. So her mom and her came over and met with me, and we discussed it. And so in the discussion, I asked her, did she have any scholarships or anything like that? And she mentioned that she did not apply for any other school but that school, and that she had a $10,000 scholarship. So we break down all of those things to find out exactly what it is that she's looking for. So she had a $10,000 scholarship, and I asked her, was that for each year? Was it for a semester? Was it a breakdown over the entire school period? What was that? So we went over the 3 A's, and I call it what's attractive, what's affordable, and what's actuality. Now, we talked about her mom's profession, and we went over like a little finances. Now, we knew that this school was attractive, but what was the cost? What were the fees? What was the tuition? What's the housing? You know, and different things like that. So I had her to look it up because she had not looked it up. So when she looked at the cost of it, she decided that, ooh, it was much. So her parents were income together wouldn't qualify her for the financial aid that would have covered it. So it would have been required for them to take out student loans and different things like that. So I said, well, let's talk about this. And I said, let's talk to your mom and find out what's affordable. And what's affordable was attending a local community college, which was Prairie State College at the time. And I asked her, Mom, can you afford this? You know, you're looking at almost $2,000 for the semester. She says, not really, but we'll make it happen. So I had to let Victoria know, and I asked her, Mom, would you like to tell her, or would you want me to? She was like, well, you tell her. I said, okay. Well, Victoria, you're going to Prairie State, and what you're going to do there is be the big fish in the little pond. You're going to go there and apply for the National Honor Society, and you're going to soar like the eagle you are. I said, I graduated with honors and received the John Quincy Adams Award, but nobody told me about applying for scholarships or applying for the National Honor Society when I was attending college. And I told her, I said, hey, my diploma looked like this, but yours is going to look like this, like that when you get it. I said, so apply for it. And I said, the community colleges have plenty of money, you know, because everybody's always going but never completing. I said, so you're going to go and you're going to do it. So that's one of my success stories. She went there. Not only did she graduate with honors, she also was headed to Springfield to get her scholarship to finish up her bachelor's degree at an Illinois State University, which is Governor State University. So she finished her bachelor's and graduated with honors when I walked across the stage. So for me to be a part of that and watch her success, that means so much to me. So we talked about what was attractive for her to go to Bradley, but it wasn't affordable. So what was actuality was that she was going to attend the community college in SOAR. So I'm going to ask, are there any callers on the line? If so, please feel free to dial into 312-738-1060. Any callers on the line? Okay. Well, let me just remind you that I am Serina Mitchner, founder of T.E.E.N.S Enrichment and Empowerment Navigation Services. Well, we are training America's future leaders today. Now, with this being said, the navigation part is where I am allowing our young adults to think for themselves and connect them with resources and people that are like-minded in helping them discover what they want to do. It's their path. All I can do is advise. So I am really, really excited to be able to tell you guys this story. And when you want to learn more about it, you can also reach out to 312-738-1060 and you can learn more about it, or you can feel free to reach out. You know the name, T.E.E.N.S Enrichment and Empowerment Navigation Services, because we love working with our young adults. It's so important to impact our youth's lives the best way we can. And I know and I understand about being a mother and working, and sometimes we just don't have the energy to give our young adults, because of our full day and our assignments, to manage our jobs, manage our families, manage our children's education. And if that's the case, then you definitely want to consider trusting, if not this organization, some organization. Let's make sure that our youth, who are very strong-minded, because we know what we want to do. If I recall, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. Exactly what I wanted to do. And the main thing was someone not telling me what to do, okay? I wanted my freedom. I was already being told what to do by my parents. What we want to do is make sure that we help manage their time. We must put some kind of activities, engage our children in some kind of activity that they will be able to benefit from. Because guess what? We are young adults just for a certain period of time, from 0 to 18, and we're going to push it on over to 23. Guess what? When you're getting those coattail blessings from your parents up until that point, after that, you are an adult on your own for the rest of your life. I've been more of an adult since I graduated high school 2 times over now. It's 2 times over. So parents, we need you to tell your children how it's going to be. We need you to not allow them to make a sound decision without being a part of it. So again, feel free to reach out to T.E.E.N.S Enrichment and Empowerment Navigation Services. I'm Serina Mitchner, founder of the program. And of course, we're training today's future leaders, America's future leaders today. So by all means, do not hesitate to reach out. You can call CAN TV at 312-738-1060. And if you want to learn more about us, of course, you can go to the website, and it is enrichment and empowerteens.org, and you can learn more about us.